Is The Last of Us Part 2's trailer too violent? Instead of seeing that particular musing as a headline, you're more likely to find affirmations in both the positive and the negative, more or less declaring either yes it is or no, it isn't. It's important, however, to contextualize what it is people are seeing when they watch that trailer, and it also helps to understand why violence in games is so prevalent in the first place. To that latter point, violence is one of, if not the most easily understood sources of conflict. These people, or zombies, or whatever, are trying to kill you, and if you don't defend yourself from these people, or zombies, or whatever, you will die. To that end, most gameplay revolves around a near-perpetual loop of this conflict. If you play games, you know and expect that you'll be accosted by hostile actors for whatever reason, whether that's simply running into bandits, opening wayward chests, or walking in grass that happens to be a few inches too tall, just to name a few scenarios. Another important aspect of violence in media as a whole, but in games specifically, is that games allow us to cathartically and safely express and exercise negative feelings. If you're feeling particularly aggressive or combative, it's usually more productive to act on those feelings in the relatively consequence-free realm of gaming, rather than the consequence-filled reality that you live. The snag with this trailer, so to speak, is that it's a trailer. It's a passive experience. All you can do is watch. This issue can be mitigated somewhat when the audience is given a proxy through which to experience the events of the trailer, a protagonist, or two, to empathize with, and through which to frame their view of the events on screen. The trailer for The Last of Us Part 2, however, doesn't really have that. The Last of Us Part 1 was about Ellie and Joel, and the most reasonable expectation to have, given that this is a direct sequel, is that we'll be taking control of one or both of them and experiencing things from their point of view. Neither of them are to be found in this trailer, however, so the audience is left on the outside looking in on a scene they have little to no context for. The strongest connection fans of the series might have at the time of this trailer's reveal and of this video is with this woman, who's speculated to be Ellie's mother. The strength of that connection, though, begins and ends with speculation, so it's tenuous at best. In summary, the passive experience of watching an exceptionally violent trailer, where the audience is not in control of the violence, combined with the lack of personal context or perspective an audience might be afforded had they a protagonist they could relate to, results in a number of mixed reactions, sure, but mixed reactions that are worth using as a launching pad to think critically about a number of things. About whether you thought the violence in the trailer was used effectively and consciously, or whether you thought it was excessive and exploitative. About why you thought so, and about how that opinion shapes your view of others' similarly striking depictions of violence. About our personal complicity and responsibility in the consumption, critique, and practice of violence, not just in the subculture of gaming, but in mainstream culture as well. You'll notice that I've neglected to give you any definitive answers to these questions or even share my own personal feelings about the trailer. That's not just because finding definitive answers is less important than having the critical wherewithal and aptitude to ask these questions in the first place, but more so that I think you're perfectly capable of finding at least some semblance of an answer on your own. Instead, I'll say this. My name's Jabri, I am one half of At Your Own Risk. Thank you for watching, listening, and thinking, and I'll see you next time.